Will Hamilton here, co-founder at SmartPath. And today we're going to talk about how to optimize your tax season appointment. So tax appointments have obviously changed logistically for many firms with the need to hold virtual meetings instead of the traditional in-person get-together that we were used to. But the critical question to ask yourself right now in today's unique environment is, have I optimized my actual appointment structure to align with the goals for my firm? Depending on the size and the structure of your practice, where you practice and how many employees or staff you may have, you may handle the logistics of your appointments any number of ways. But there are three specific things that any firm, regardless of size, regardless of staff, regardless of geography, three things that any firm can do to optimize their appointments this season. The first thing is control who is allowed to actually have an appointment on your calendar. The second thing is focus the appointment time on the results of that year's filing. And the third thing is clearly explain how clients can improve or maintain their results in their next filing, the next time that you get together for an appointment. And so let's look at each one of these things individually so that you can see how to optimize your appointments this season. Okay, the first one is control who is allowed to actually have an appointment. We are all critically aware that capacity is a real issue for most firms during filing season. You only have so many days before the deadline, and often you have more returns than you can process. So because of these limitations, not every client on your roster should be allowed to have an appointment. And think about that for a minute. Your clients should be paying you for a result, not for the time they sit in front of you. Why is that true? The results that you can help your clients achieve as a tax and accounting professional, those results can be infinitely scalable. You can use technology, you can improve your processes over time, you can help people achieve results, and that's scalable. But your time is not scalable. You will always be limited by the amount of hours that you choose to work. So as long as clients are paying for your time, scaling your revenue and scaling your operations is going to be challenging. Now, we get how daunting it may feel to tell some of your clients that they won't have access to an appointment this year, but that doesn't have to be a negative thing if you use the right approach. And we want to give you a template. We want to give you a virtual announcement template that you can use to show you how to message to clients that you'll be helping them this year, but just without an appointment. And so to access that template, make sure that you go to this post on our website, and you can find it on our blog, smartpath.co, and you'll be able to see the link and download that template. Now let's talk about client psychology for a minute. Not having an appointment becomes a negative thing in our clients' minds when we don't make it clear how they can receive the results that they want outside of sitting with you during January through April. Clients believe that if they just had that time with you, you may magically be able to affect their filing outcome. And many firms don't offer a very structured or very clear way to engage with clients outside of the busy season except for extended returns. And so when you don't offer an engagement level on your pricing menu in your practice that includes that strategic help, you're left with clients clinging to their tax season time with you because they feel like that's the only way that they can improve their results. But once we make it clear how clients can still receive the results that they want, then all the negative feelings around not having a tax season appointment will naturally go away. And that's what we want. And so that leads directly into our second optimization step, which is focus your appointment time on the results of that specific filing. So in healthcare, there are objective measurements that indicate someone is healthy or unhealthy, or they're headed in either direction. And in the tax and financial world, the same is very true. There are markers that objectively indicate someone's business or personal financial health. Now, here's where things get choppy or things get misunderstood. The majority of consumers, the majority of your clients are not tax or financial experts. So they've been trained to think that the results of their tax filing each year is either positive or negative based on whether they received a refund or how much tax they owed. Paying the minimum amount of tax is everyone's legal right. That's a given. We're not arguing that. But for clients to be truly successful in their business or with their finances, their tax filing should be measured as either positive or negative based on how closely it aligns with their overall goals for that year. So, for example, if someone pays $1 million in tax one year, but they're achieving their overall income and financial goals, that could be a great filing result, even though they own a bunch of tax. I would love to owe $1 million in tax because that probably means I made a lot more than that, right? What about the flip side? If someone receives a $20,000 tax refund, that could be a terrible result unless somehow they wanted to give an interest-free loan to the IRS as part of some other larger strategy that you were both working on. And so you get this, you know this because you're a tax professional. And some clients may know this in theory, but most really don't. And so it's your responsibility to educate them, to teach them about what a positive result and a negative result is. And really that result goes back to how does it align with their goals. So your tax appointments with your clients should focus on diagnosing their results from the previous year and measuring if those results align, if they match up. And if we're really honest, most tax appointments in the industry for smaller firms, those appointments are spent, shooting the breeze with the client, catching up on what's been going on and, what's going on with the kids and the grandkids. And we're gathering some missing source documents that the client really could have provided, some other way. And so we're not advocating that you don't enjoy your time with your clients, but the amount of time that you spend during your tax appointment focused on the results of their filing versus how much time you spend just catching up, that should be purposeful. And so here's some key questions that you can build your appointment around to ensure that your limited time during the busy season is focused on the right results. The first question is, what happened to your income or your expenses this year that led to the specific filing? What happened with your life this year compared to last year that affected your results? So did you get married? Did you get divorced? Did you have a baby? Did you retire? What happened in your life this year compared to last? And then the last question is, what's happening in your business or in your industry that affected your sales, your margins, your profits, or your earning potential that led to these specific results? And so you can use whatever language you feel comfortable with when you ask those questions. Those are just examples of the specific questions you want to ask. But when you focus your client appointments around these questions, you accomplish two really key things. You identify how the amount of tax they paid or the refund they received fits into a larger context of their financial life. And then this indicates how healthy or unhealthy their tax picture is compared to whatever goals they may have. And then the second really key thing you do is you protect yourself from trying to cram a year's worth of tax planning into one 30 to 90 minute meeting. We know that when it's time to report to the IRS and state what happened in the last year, it's often too late to drastically affect any outcome because the year's already passed, it's already gone. A tax filing is simply reporting on historical data. The only way to really affect the future is to implement strategies and tactics before the year has actually ended. And so again, you know this, but many of your clients probably don't. So as another tool to see how to create a client guide PDF that specifically helps clients understand this difference between reporting what happened in the past versus planning for what the future, read our previous post on this topic. And if you go to this blog on our website, smartpath.co, you'll see a link that will link you to that post where we teach you how to create that guide that will help with that education. So by focusing your tax appointment on the contextual results of the filing, not just how much the client owed or how much they were refunded, now you're not trying to travel back in time and change history. Instead, you're simply diagnosing what happened, and you're helping the client see and understand the same historical events that you see and understand. And so that now takes us to the last step of optimizing your tax appointments, which is clearly explaining to the client how you can improve or maintain the results in their next filing. So once you and the client understand the historical events that led to this year's filing, it needs to be made clear how the client can achieve better results or maintain their good results next year. And as we know, the only way to do that is through proactive planning. Only by planning and executing the necessary action steps can the client implement strategies that are really going to help them save on taxes or achieve their desired results. And so what needs to be made clear to the client regarding this planning? Well, first of all, the client needs to understand that you're not going to do this planning during the busy season. You'll do that planning in May through December when you actually have the capacity for it. Also, if the client is currently only paying you for tax preparation, you may need to adjust your engagement structure with the client to make sure that you're getting compensated for your knowledge and your expertise. And if you're going to work with them on year-round planning, usually some type of monthly engagement subscription is the easiest way to ensure you're getting paid on an ongoing basis for that planning. And then the last thing that needs to be made clear is what are the next steps if the client does want additional planning to maintain or improve the results of their next filing. Many firms don't provide this clarity because they think it's got to be a complicated conversation, and it really doesn't. With a little bit of practice, this conversation can be simple, it can be easy, and it can happen in as little as 2 minutes. So we want to give you 2 examples of what you can say to a client to provide that clarity. So the first example is if the client had a positive result. So their filing aligned with their overall business or financial goals. It was a positive result. In that example, you would say something like, client name, after finishing your tax report for last year, I'm so glad we ended up where we both wanted to be. But as you know, tax laws, stimulus strategies, and the economy will continue to evolve rapidly this next year and into the foreseeable future. So to ensure you still achieve the best possible results, regardless of any upcoming changes, we need to track and analyze and understand your key numbers in the context of all these changes. Then we need to create a plan and execute the right action steps in the right order before your next filing. If you would like us to be involved in this process with you, I can add you to our early access list and reach out in the spring to ensure you're in that first group that we know we'll have time to work with. And then book a specific time with them to meet again right there at the end of that meeting, at the end of that conversation, or let them know, hey, watch your email in May or June and we'll send you out an invitation. So if they had a good result, that's an example of how you can set them up for how to get the level of help that they want in this next year. What about if the client had a negative result? So their filing did not align with their overall business or financial goals. Well, you would say again, client name, after finishing your tax report for last year, I hate that the result wasn't what we wanted it to be, and we want to do everything we can to ensure that this doesn't happen again. As you know, tax laws, stimulus strategies, and the economy will continue to evolve rapidly this next year and into the foreseeable future. So to ensure that we can achieve the best possible results, regardless of any upcoming changes, we need to track and analyze and work to improve your key numbers throughout the year. Then we need to create a plan and execute the right action steps in the right order before your next filing. If you would like us to be involved in this process with you, I can add you to our early access list and reach out in the spring to ensure you're in that first group of people that we know we'll have time to work with. And then you can book a specific follow-up meeting with them right then on the spot, or let them know to watch their calendar for an invitation email. Now, when you look at these 2 examples, it shows you, regardless of the tax filing result, whether it was positive or it was negative, you can make it very clear to the client how to receive the help they need to improve or maintain their results moving forward. So what are the key takeaways from today's training? Well, you should be selective about who receives an appointment during the busy season. This will protect against wasting precious time during the period that you have the least capacity. If you don't give clients an option for receiving strategic help outside of the busy season, they will continue to cling to wanting that appointment, which in the long term limits your ability to scale. So we got to give them that other option. You can also stop trying to cram a year's worth of planning into one appointment by focusing your appointment time on defining and diagnosing the results of the client's filing. And then this is my favorite, you can capture revenue leaking out of the practice by making it clear how clients can improve or maintain their next filing result through proactive planning with you throughout the year that you can then bill monthly for or bill as a separate engagement. So if you would like some additional help to optimize your appointments this season, we'd love for you to download our free template, the Tax Appointment Optimization Checklist. Again, make sure you access this post on our website, smartpath.co, and you can download that checklist in this post. If you need any additional help, SmartPath provides powerful training and tools and one-on-one support to help you optimize your pricing and make sure that you're getting paid for knowledge that you may be giving away for free. So we'd love for you to schedule a call to learn more. And again, you can access that on our website. Hopefully today has shown you how to optimize your tax season appointments, and we'll see you in the next one.